Okay, Marian, I guess we're live now.
Yes, we are live now.
Okay, that's my cue to begin. I will start recording. All right. Am I perfectly audible to everyone? Okay, thank you. Namaste and good afternoon to one and all joining us for the National Innovation Dialogue 2022-23. Today, we are here to discuss experiences of young social startup founders from across Asia Pacific who are also the proud alumni of the Youth CoLab network. This year, the National Innovation Dialogue is a three-part event hosted by the United Nations Development Programme and Atal Innovation Mission Niti Aayog, with an aim to bring together stakeholders to establish a common agenda through capacity development, strengthening coalition, and creating an enabling ecosystem for youth social entrepreneurs. The agenda for this year is navigating the startup ecosystem as we address the pertinent problems faced by young youth social startups, gain inspiration from their journeys, and learn from their insights. In the second part of this series, on 15th June, we will be hearing from other side of the table as we welcome venture capitalists from prominent ventures firms in India. And the culmination of these series will be in person on 20th June in Delhi. Now, without any further ado, let's skip to the most awaited part of this afternoon. I would like to introduce you to the panel members of today. We have Stephen and Sue from China, founders at VCAT. Hello, Stephen and Sue. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Sachanda from Cambodia, founder at Zero. And we have Divya from India, founder at Silvery Nanos. I would now invite each one of you one by one in the sequence to tell us about yourself and introduce yourself to our audience. We can start with Stephen and Sue.
Hello, everybody. I'm Stephen. And there's Sue. We are co-founders of VCAT, and we are very happy to be invited by UNDP India to come here and talk about our experiences in the YCL and what we are doing on sustainable programs.
Yeah, and we're from China mainly, so we're based in Shanghai now. We're local designers, and we mainly focus on social and cultural innovation. So we want to creating more possibilities through traditional craftsmanship and modern technology. And we want to bring a sustainable lifestyle and social co-benefit to the whole product chain. Thank you.
Because we are design and innovation-driven social company, so we have won a lot of program and a lot of award, including the Core 77 and the Design Award, and we are hoping to bring our social impact to our much more global markets and also our products to the global markets.
Yeah, thank you so much, UNDP India, for having us. It's really a great pleasure for us to talk with you guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Stephen and Sue, for sharing briefly about your initiative and yourselves. More on that later. I would now invite Ms. Sachanda to share about herself briefly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Suchanda from Cambodia, an environmental content creator and social entrepreneur. I have a channel called Zero. So on Zero, we create content on environment and just inspired youth to live a more eco-friendly lifestyle through my own journey.
Thank you so much, Sachanda. Your initiative sounds much exciting. We will hear more on that later. Over to you, Divya.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. This is Divya Rathod from India. And we have started called Silvery Nanos Innovations LLP, which was founded in 2014, but in action, it came in 2018. So it's a infectionless surface for 1 month. So we have created a product called Happy To, which you apply once on the toilets or any kind of surfaces. It will be antimicrobial as well as water and stain repellent for 1 month. So it is used for preventing a lot of infections. Like from toilets, we are preventing UTI. During COVID, we had given, it was also 99.9% against COVID. So we have served our country in COVID, as well as right now we are working with Central Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and we are working with them closely to keep our toilets, sanitized as well as UTI free. So that's what I do, and I'm a PhD in microbiology, and I'm working on different projects and a PhD guide. So yes, thank you for having me here, UNDP India. It's really, really happy to see everyone over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing about yourself briefly. We at UNDP India and together with Atal Innovation Mission are really proud of your initiatives and are happy to host you today. So with that, we have introduced our panelists for today. I would start with asking questions. I will go in the similar sequence if everyone's okay with that. First, Stephen and Sue, then Suchanda, and then Divya. Stephen and Sue, in your case, you can choose who wants to answer which question, and if the other person would like to add to it, most welcome. I would request you to keep your answers limited to 2 minutes in interest of time. Is that okay? Can we proceed?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the first question is as basic as they come. Can you tell us about your initiative and how did it begin? What was the inspiration behind it?
Okay, so because we are grown up in China, and every winter in our childhood we can smell the uh, smell a very smelly of the burning meats. So we are trying to figure out why people are choosing to burn them instead of make a great use of them. So this is how this topic start, and we had a lot of research. We found that. Actually, they do want to make it a great use, but they face some problem and they didn't find a great solution. And the government might have some punishment if you are burning it. So this is how we cat started from the orientation. We found it's a great combination to make it from a biodegradable product to a cat nest or something, and make it a much more great value so that villagers can earn a lot of money from doing this WeCat products. Thank you.
Sue, would you like to add anything to it?
I think it's cool. It's how we start, like in 2019 in the winter. And since then, we began our project as WeCat. And so we continually move forward like this and meet you guys in this platform.
Okay, thank you. What do you, Suchanda? The same question.
For me, I first came across lifestyle, zero waste lifestyle, and then I started to be more interested in the lifestyle itself and also the problems. And in late 2018, I decided to go zero waste myself, and at the same time, filming what I'm doing and put it on social media on my channel called Zero. And then it started to, it took off, and people was curious about what it is. And then I introduced the lifestyle to Cambodian, and till now we have over 130,000 follower accumulated on all social media platforms. People started to talk more about zero waste lifestyle, and as well as what we are working on is raising awareness on responsible consumptions and productions. So now we continue making more content, and as well providing services, media production services to NGOs and small businesses that align with our concept. And we also just opened a zero waste shop as one of the part of Zero as well. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. And now over to you, Divya.
So I came across I wanted to do this in 2014 when I suffered from urinary tract infection myself. And I was doing my microbiology. I was first and second year of microbiology when I suffered in that. And I had to miss all my practicals because microbiology is all about practicals. I have to miss my college. Then I had lost around 10 kgs of weight. I was miserable in that time because my physical as well as mental health was, on a very bad state, because of the loss in, studies as well as the loss in immunity. So basically, when we talk about, women empowerment, I always feel that women has a very different body in self, and they need to be, taken care from inside, whether it's periods, whether it's, these kind of infection which makes them, in a very bad physical as well as mental state. So I started this project, in a very raw form, and then I, left the project because I wanted to do my, I wanted to pursue my master's and PhD. So in masters, I got an opportunity to, with the Startup India and Youth CoLab. So that was my actually, the pioneers who made this project into a startup actually. So thank you so much for UNDP, Youth CoLab, as well as, the Indian team. So I started it as a company, and I wanted to know that, because the microorganisms are getting resistant and they're MDR, that is multi drug resistance. And so there is no as such cure, but we have to prevent this infection. So I restarted my project, and now Happy To is in action with Central Ministry and the public toilets of India. So I'm really happy that my purpose, is coming, to life. So yes, this is how, I started with Silvery Nano's Happy To.
Thank you so much, Divya. We are also happy to see that things are finally falling into place for you, and more power to you. So with that, the next question would be, would you tell us a little bit about your community, the community that you're targeting with the help of your initiative, and how that community is being benefited through the kind of work that you're carrying out? Let me know if I need to repeat the question. I will start with Stephen.
Okay, so actually, VCAT is benefiting both sides of the whole line. That is the farmers and the final consumer, which is cat and cat lovers. So for the first part, our farmers, they help us to reduce the weeds burning. And during this time, they will help us to breed the weeds into the material we need. We call wheat bread. It's very simple, and always they do this kind of work in winter. After that, we will punch the wheat bread from our farmers, and they can earn a lot of extra money in the winter when they are free for farming. So after that, our company will do the products, and we finally sell it to cat lovers. And cat is very benefit from our product because they naturally love wheats. So wheat cat is something like a chocolate or like a chocolate house or something to cats because they love the product, and it's finally degradable, and it does not contain any toxic material or product inside it.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Stephen. So feel free to add whenever you wish to. Moving on to Suchanda, please share your thoughts.
Our community here mostly youth, and because we are on social media, the content can spread out more than just in the city, but to other provinces as well. And what we trying to also do is, so we have been online the whole time for for 5 years now. What we also would like to build in terms of community is trying to have an actual offline group or community that we actually started doing it, called Zero Fam. So my channel is called Zero, and Fam is family. So what we're trying to gathering who we met online, but coming together to get just be more connected. And this is very important in this, in terms both as a lifestyle and social entrepreneur myself. In this, we need someone together as a community to go together. If we do it alone, it's a quite challenging, yeah. So we're hoping to build more offline community with more youth, and maybe we can go to further than the city, but more into indigenous group and other youth from the rural area as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sachanda, for sharing. Yeah, in terms of changing mentality towards climate, it's very difficult, and the kind of work that you're carrying out is really remarkable. So thank you for sharing that. Over to you, Divya.
So my community basically is women, and so women who are using public toilets, and everyone uses public toilet because nowadays everyone is women are working in India as well as outside India. So the public toilets are not being kept really well. So there's a lot of chances of getting UTI, and everyone cannot carry sanitizers with them, or even that sanitizers are not great for climate. So what we are doing is we are trying to put across the public toilets, and we're trying to prevent UTI infections and making women more empowered from within rather than from the external. Of course, they are almost all like they're already strong if they are strong from within. So yeah, women is something I'm trying to empowering women through my this initiative. That's it.
Thank you so much, Divya. That's indeed inspiring. My next question to all of you is, what were some challenges that you faced during the development of your startup during the initial times, and how did you overcome those challenges? Starting with Steven and Stu.
Okay, so the greatest challenge for WeCat is in the very beginning. It's very difficult for us to let everyone around us to know that sustainability is really a great question and we want to solve it. And at that time, we literally are too like we're almost 20s. So most people think we are so young and we cannot solve this such big problems through our two little kids. Yeah, and also at that time, time and money is really not so much for us, and we want to do this big question, solve this big question, and we don't have so much time, we don't have so much money. So one way we found that might be a solution for us is that we gain so many awards, and we tell us like it's really global recognized. So can we collaborate or can we do things together, like to add some value in our project? Yeah. So it's the most difficult time is the when you start a business and it's really in an early age. Yeah. So now it's much more better than before.
Yes, okay. Sue, do you want to comment on how did you work towards overcoming this challenge? This seems like a very huge hurdle to develop
Yeah.
your startup. So what were the steps?
I can still remember at first when we were doing field research, we took a long way travel to a local farm, and he tell us that's impossible. There's no way for you to solve this problem. And we said, oh my God, for over 1,000 years that nobody have successfully find a great solution for this product. And what can we do? But after that, we did a lot of material experience over 100 times, and we spent nearly whole 3 months to find the final material that's the convention that's possible to make VCAT. So I
Yeah.
think hard working and young thinking, you can think from a third view for the questions will help you, and also cross border or cross field will help you to do products better.
Yeah,
Great.
true.
Thank you for answering. I think, yeah, definitely hard work is the answer to all of the problems in the end. So thank you for sharing your experience. Over to you, Sachenda.
One of the challenges that we faced during our early age as well was um, revenue streams, in short. Because we first started doing this as a hobby. It's not something that okay we plan to do and make money and as a career as what I'm doing now. But then when it started to take off and I decided to okay, this is something I want to do, but how to be sustainable in this journey is another story. Is another thing that I have to learn, discover, and need a lot of help from. Creating content on social media, we cannot make money as ad breaks isn't eligible in our country, and even if I have audience to watch me, it's not like brand collaboration is not something we always welcome, because as long as the products and services are aligned with our concept zero waste, or in a way it's our environment, then we can promote or collab. But we don't always encourage overconsumption. So it's kind of contradicted with the way we find it. So yeah, so we it takes us some time to explore options and possibility that we can still be able to do this and sustain our team. So we explore options like grants, funding, and as well as merchandise sales, and like offering media's production services to NGO, offering training and workshops to staff and corporations, and this is something we can do now. It's still in the process, still challenging sometime, but it's okay now. And especially as now we added more revenue streams. For example, as I told in the beginning, we have just opened zero waste stores and refill stations. So this side of the revenue stream is a bit more stable than offering services. So it's getting doing better now. Yeah,
definitely. Thank you for sharing such agenda. Yeah, I think navigating the financial space in the startup ecosystem can be tough, but I feel merchandising and offering trainings is a very innovative idea apart from fundraising and grants raising to really sustain yourself. So kudos to you. Over to you, Divya, now.
So yes, I started with my project in 2014, and I left it because as like a black book and wanted to pursue my master's and PhD. So yes, that was the first obstruction. Like that time I was very young, and no one supported as such the idea for a startup. Then the startup ecosystem came to India, but as a woman, because Indian population is mostly for the entrepreneurs, it's like men entrepreneurs, and there are like very less women entrepreneurs, and they take it seriously to them, like for investors or for distributors, whether she's going to handle the money properly or not, whether she's going to supply things properly or not, because or is it going to be for a long lasting time or not, because she's going to get married and have kids, and she'll be busy in her life, and then let people think for a very long, like the future and everything. So women entrepreneurs were not much celebrated in India, but now that the things have changed, the scenarios have changed, we have made it change, and we're still making it, a change in this society. But yes, there were like, so I am a bootstrapped startup. I have not taken any investment, and I have got, grants and for my production, for my setting up, the factory and everything. So it was a very and convincing people around you that you can do something, and this is something I really want to do, because normally after getting masters, or they were like, just do your PhD, you can become a professor, it would be a secure job, and do things like that. And convincing parents, convincing a lot of people around you is like literally draining thing out there. But then yeah, somehow or the other, a lot of obstacles came. But then if you are in your mind to do something, and to prevent a lot of infections around you. So in COVID, of course, microbiologists got a lot of credibility, because that was the time I could show myself as a microbiologist, and I used to get calls from everywhere what I was supposed to do. So at that time I could really prove things. So even the universe gives you opportunities, and they make a way for your obstacles to overcome. So something that happened, and yeah, still there are a lot of obstacles around the government, the distributors, the investors, what I was supposed to do after a point of time. But yes, I think we all can come together and overcome all these obstacles. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much. I think it's a great time to be a startup entrepreneur, not only in India, but at least I can say for Asia Pacific, from what I've been witnessing in our network of Youth CoLab. So, and I saw a very resounding head nodding when you said that it's you against the world when you want to start a social startup, because not a lot of people, really want to support you. And I feel like all the entrepreneurs in the room really agree with that thought. So thank you for sharing that with us, Dilvya. Okay, moving on to the next question. We have all seen you grow as entrepreneurs under the Youth Collab umbrella, and it's been very inspiring to see where you've reached thus far. So, how did being a part of Youth Collab really add to your initiative? Starting from Stephen and Sue.
Okay, so basically it has some system academics you need in your start entrepreneur. So the most important thing like product market fit, and you'll know how to do a crowdfunding. And I think the most important value that your collab had taught us is you need to have some global vision, and you do some long-term value and impact things, and not do much. You don't need that much profit in the early beginning for social enterprise. So you need to do the long term. Yeah. And secondly, I think is you can evaluate your business model reasonably, and you can add a feedback to your business model. Like one lesson, I think they taught us how to evaluate your business model through data. And once you build this model, you can now evaluate, well, this is good for my business and this is bad. So I think you need to know which stage are your business in. That is very valuable.
And I can still remember there's a very important course for us that in that day Patch told us about how to set up your product final price for the end market. That is to have some A/B or ABCDE test, and you can in this way to arrange how this product is being sold in each country or in each region, and you can start your crowdfunding to help your product start first, so that you don't need to take a very big risk for the product launch.
Great, thank you, Stephen. So that seems very insightful. Over to you, Sachenda.
Thank you, Molly. So with Youth Collab, for me, one-on-one mentorship actually helped me a lot. Special thanks to Ding Long, my mentor. He's usually around Cambodia. That's why I have like a special treat from him. He usually we got a talk one-on-one, and he always give me good advice. Yeah. So really grateful for that. And as well as Stephen was saying, I think the Springboard Program Plus was a really good program for us to learn a lot as well in terms of fundraising, improving our business and growing and scaling. So very grateful to be part of Youth Collab. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suchanda. I think Dinglong is a very common thread for the Asia Pacific Youth Club members, and also otherwise he's been a mentor to me, and it's great to have him around. The energy is great. So I think we can all agree on that one point. So over to you, Divya.
Youth Collab has actually added a lot of value addition in my life, personally as well as professionally. So I was a scientist basically, and we did something in lab, but you don't know how to take that lab, solution to the world or to India itself. So I was very nervous, but then I got this opportunity in 2019 that I could participate in something like Delhi. So it was my solo trip, my first solo trip ever in my life was Youth Collab. And then I was taken to Singapore, and different. After that, I think I did not stop. Like every month I travel. So in this particular Youth Collab, there are a lot of modules which has been taught. So physically also, when we were in Delhi, there were a lot of competition. There was a team building. So I did a lot of networking around the entrepreneurial world. So I got to meet people like me who are actually working on social enterprise. So for us, business is like, if you buy something and then you add some, value to it, or, 100 rupees or something to it, and, you just resell it. But something like this, which is, you know, trying to solve a problem or trying to solve a genuine problem, which was very near to my heart. And there were a lot of pregnancies which were getting aborted because of UTI, and there were a lot of problems with women. So I was like, why people will be, you know, taking up this, like, you know, will pay for it, or, you know, the government is going to pay for it, or something like that. It was like a very much into the lab. But then when I got into Youth CoLab, I got this confidence. So I would say the first and major thing which Youth CoLab has given me is like confidence, to believe in myself, to believe in my idea, and how to take this, you know, to India and then across world. So I met around, so I was a speaker in 2022 in Youth CoLab. So I met around 140 countries around the world, and then I've met around 168 countries. So it was like something, you know, there was a confidence. The girl, which was, you know, there is a caterpillar in this particular thing, and then you become a butterfly. So I think Youth CoLab has done that to me, because I was very shy. I was very into the lab world, and then, you know, this whole modules, that how to set up a business, how to get things into picture, how to get distributors, how to talk across world, how to get your ideas and your speech across the world. And they of course did a what do you say, a demo, and as well as a video on me, which was published across the Youth CoLab you know, YouTube channel, as well as social media channels. So I was very much, you know, confident about what I was doing, and then I continued doing this. So today my company has actually got an order because I was having this confidence in me, and that was because of Youth CoLab. So yeah, it added a lot to anyone's life, and it will add a lot more to everyone's lives. So yes, thank you so much, Youth CoLab.
Definitely. Thank you for the kind words, Divya. And I feel like the platforms that you have earned for yourselves, all of you, through Youth CoLab is commendable. And we just hope for you to keep going ahead and never stopping. So thank you for sharing those beautiful insights. My next question to you would be, you've shared overall experience with Youth CoLab, but if you could list down 3 lifelong learnings that you have taken away from Youth CoLab, what would they be, if there are any? Obviously, 3 lifelong learnings.
Pardon?
Any 3 lifelong learnings that you have taken away from Youth CoLab that you will remember always?
Well, I think the lifelong learning is before we did the Young CoLab license, I think the business must fit in a specific country or specific region. And after that, I think you need to have a global vision. Like there is some simple but really benefit and helpful business for the global humans. Yeah, and before the Young CoLab, I think there can't be so many simple but meaningful business. Yeah, I think it's lifelong.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
and also there will be you can start your product actually from a very small MVP model. You don't need to put it already for the market for the whole global. You can just start from your own country and have a test. You test the shipment, you test the packaging, you test your final price or something. And after that, when it's MVP run successfully, you can start your global after that. In this way, you can learn fast and improve yourself fast.
Great. Thank you for adding to that, Stephen. That sounds like a very good advice. You can start at home first and then expand and expand and expand. Over to you, Suchenda.
I think to me, I realized like a little connection, so networking go a long way. First started doing this alone was really difficult. Like I don't know how much to charge for this service. Like there's client interested in for me to doing this, and I never expect to offer the service, so I don't know like what's to charge, what the market price, and having like a group of people and you can reach out to ask for advice, and it's really good. And having to be able to network within along with what you're doing, there's you can access to opportunities, and including learning opportunity, funding opportunity. So yes, there's a genuinely connect with the people in the same industry would be really it's never go wrong.
Great, thank you so much, Sachenda, for sharing your thoughts with us. Divya, over to you.
I think Youth Collab has now become a family to me. And yeah, so the first thing is the confidence, which I told you. It has actually give a magic wand to my confidence, and to spread the word across the world and what I was doing. The second thing is networking. So I could network around the world through Youth Collab, and I could meet and I could understand the problems and different kinds. So I really felt that okay, other countries, other country people are going to be having different kinds of problems, or different kinds of thinking or something like that. But when I met them, when I was there in this Youth Collab platform, I think I could see that that we are actually facing similar life problems around the world, and then we can actually take our solutions globally because they are facing almost the same problems. Like UTI is everywhere around the world, everyone is facing that, but no one is coming up or speaking up things. So I felt that okay, networking was something, and then there, because of networking, I could actually share my packaging. I could take reviews of all my friends around the world. Okay, well, this is a proper packaging or not, or this is going to be the one if anyone refuses it or not, or anyone is not acceptable in or not. So I think that was I got my community. I got the founders community across the world where I can go while I travel. So whenever I travel, I just call a Youth Collab person and I'm traveling to this country. Would you like to just catch up and get me around this, how these things are going to be work. So I think I made distributors automatically with the Youth Collab team, and a type of promotion throughout the world through Youth Collab. And the third thing is like in the business modeling. So onto the professional level, how because of the modules, the 14 modules, I could actually help me in pitching to the investors or pitching it to the salespeople, or how to manage being a scientist to the founder. So yes, the transition was completely very nice and it was very helpful because of Youth Collab. So these are my top 3 things which I've learned a lot from Youth Collab.
Thank you so much, Divya. I think networking is an important takeaway that we can agree for all of us here. And definitely, you will have friends in China and Cambodia and vice versa for future, and you can show each other around. So that's another unofficial advantage of being in the Youth Collab network. You will know someone in the country always you're traveling to. Great. So my next question to all of you is, can you share one important memory or highlight which stayed with you even after the Youth Collab cycle ended?
Well, I have very good memories. After the license, I chatted with a participant, a lady from Nepal, I think, and she was going to do a local market for mothers and babies, a very young product brand. And I think there are some very successful brands in China have done this before, like really big brand and have great influence in China. So I chatted with her, and I recommend some business advice, and I think give her some advice like there are some brand in China, and I think you can research on them and know how their business model runs and what their product aim for. I think it's really helpful for your business. And after that, the lady is really thankful to me, and I think it feels amazing to have a connect with a lady not in my country, even we're not chatting with my own language. Yeah, I think it's helping others in the Young CoLab platform, and it's really amazing for me. Yeah, amazing experience.
That's actually heartwarming indeed, Sue. Sachanda, over to you.
I think I'm quite new to use CoLab actually.
Okay.
So, but because of use CoLab a few months ago, I also got an opportunity to join LDC5, UN conference on least developed countries in Qatar, which is a very great experience, and met a lot of people there, lots of young, inspiring activists, and good people to connect all around the world. And I will be at Use CoLab Summit Thailand 2023 in next month. So I'm so excited to be there and make more memories.
Great, so Chanda, we're so excited to see you reach to that level and the heights you'll get to. Thank you so much for sharing that. Over to you, Divya.
So my best memory, there are a lot of memories, and I'm still in connect with a lot of youth collab people, and they come to my house. They have food, like Rajasthani food and everything. So yes, I like still. I think one of the youth collab is going to come in June, and they're going to stay with me, and it's going to be like amazing. So the best memory I think was the UNDP speech, or when I was a speaker. So I was on the platform and I was delivering my story and everyone was listening. So around 140 countries were listening, online as well as offline. And they all understood what the problem I was working on, and they literally stood for it. So yeah, and I got a ovation. So yes, that was the best moment, I think, that we all connect through that one vibe, or one frequency.
Great, that's so great to know that you've reached this level because of Youth Collab. So okay, and my next question would be, what step, going back to your work now, your development and the process that took, what steps did you take up to bring the startup idea to life? And were there any specific design methodologies that helped you? I will repeat the question. What steps did you take to bring your startup idea to life? And were there any specific design methodologies or ways that helped you?
At first, VCAT was one of our students' part-time work that we were thinking to make it to a great product. We didn't think about to make it as a company or as a final product that we're going to the market. But after we shoot a video about VCAT and the cat, many users online, they asked where to buy this product. They eager to buy VCAT, but we were not ready for the market at that time. So after that, we did a lot of real cat. We did a lot of real cat tests, and we have a lot of modification to the product, to our factory schedule, to our the final surface, and even the material that we use to combine weeds together. And we are still working towards the final launch to the real market.
Yeah, and I think the design methodology is very classic. We're design students, and we use design thinking a lot, like solve real problems and use our design as a tool to solve the real world problem. And it's really amazing for the double diamond model. I don't know if you know this. It's a double diamond. Like you spread your idea, and if you get some feedback, and you made a diamond, and after that you made another diamond, and after this whole process, your design is going to do some are ready to face the real world. Yeah.
Yes, Stephen, do you want to add to it?
Yes, and also there's another thing very important, that is when you are going to do something, you can start for searching and looking for some great inspiration. For example, VCAT is have a very important reference. Is a traditional Chinese handcraft matthew that they use. In this way, they use the weeds to braid into a hat, and their matthew and even some of their machines, some of their tradition skills help our product very much. We think VCAT is a great combination of traditional technique in a modern way to use it.
That's such a great blend of traditional and modern ways, and the double diamond system also seems very efficient and intriguing. Thank you for sharing those insights. Over to you, Suchanda.
For us, first we started building our channel. So because I first started it as a hobby, so creating content, and my background is not related to media or environment at all. So I studied business and administration, but then when I first making content, I have to start learning how to do it while I'm actually doing it. So the process is okay. Start building the channel and learning about how to make a video, how to edit video, what I want to do. I will learn it as along the way. And after we build the channel and have enough audience, we decided to, okay, this is something I will want to do more. Then we start defining our products and services. What can we provide to our client who interested in working with us, and try to define the product as well, pricing, building team, and partners, collaborators, and then we start working from there. And until now, we still working on developing our product and services. I think we still have a long way to go and to learn.
Great, Suchanda, but I think that seems like a very good, well thought out starting point. So more power to you. Over to you, Divya.
So there were a lot of challenges, as we all know about the public toilets in India is very challenging, and getting into the government sectors with your product is also a little bit challenging. But then Youth CoLab, and I was having UN Women, so I also was a regional winner of UN Women. So first, my product was into a paint form. And then I got to know that everyone is not going to paint it is only restricted to the new toilets or the ones who are going to get installed. But what about the toilets which are already there in the market? So people are not going to spend so much, on the new toilets or something like that. So I had to convert the whole formula, or, the nanotechnology innovation. So basically a whole re-innovation towards the spray form. So now we are into the spray form. And then I got to know that, only Happy-To protect. This is like we are happy to protect you. So basically, I kind of created a philosophy of protecting only toilets first, because I wanted to improve the UTI conditions in India. But then the COVID hit, and because the product was actually killing a lot of microorganisms, so we have to innovate another product, which was because the toilets were like closed, the public toilets were closed. So we were like, okay, now the business is not going to run only on the toilets form. So we introduced more two products, which was for 7 days and for the sanitizers across India. So that was something, for 30 days and 7 days, we were trying to target different kinds of surfaces. So now it was all kinds of surfaces, soft as well as hard. After that, in 2021, I was like, only the toilets, because it is very slow and steady work. You need to really have patience to get into the government sector and, getting into the public toilets and getting into the, resorts or anything, because they all were out of business. They were all struggling for, something on the new after COVID. So then I thought of, starting more 14. So, I end up innovating 14 products, which was almost similar onto the Happy-To travel, because alone Happy-To toilet protector would not take the business or sustain the business alone. So I ended up, innovating 14 products, which were having the same principle, but that is we are trying to protect the surface for a month or to 6 months, and it was antimicrobial as well as water and stain repellent. So innovation was continuously, has to be done in business to sustain your business, because there were a lot of things where, we were out of materials, or we cannot buy only the sole material for toilet protectors because you don't have orders only for the toilet protectors. But now in 2022, we finally cracked the Central Ministry of India, and now we have a good business with the toilet protectors, and the rest business is like, I'm not much focusing on that. This is on like automated mode. But yes, my sole purpose was to prevent UTI, and I'm now focusing on preventing UTI and getting into the ministry and the public toilets. So yeah, there was a lot of innovation, there was a lot of hurdles, there was a lot of things which has to be done. But I think it was fun. The journey was really fun, because innovation is something, you need to keep on innovating yourself as well as the products to get going in the market. So yes, it was really great over there.
Definitely, Divya. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was a great bottom-up approach that you used in order to understand your community. And definitely, innovation is a common thread in all of your work, every entrepreneur's work. So kudos to all of you. My next question would be, what or who has been the constant source of inspiration for you? Because as a social entrepreneur, I can understand, like all of you also agreed, there can be times when people don't support the work you're doing. There can be financial aspects, sustaining yourself, and all of those problems. So, in the face of it, what or who has been a constant source of inspiration for you?
Is Elon Musk okay?
That is definitely up
Elon.
to you. Yes.
Yeah. I think Elon is the most amazing people on earth. And, the Tesla he made, he sent to the universe, he carved a specific sentence on it, like made by humans on earth. I think it's a global vision. Yeah. It's really
Human-centered vision.
yeah, human-centered vision. It's so hard for him to send us such big and amazing spaceship to the universe. And I think the things on Earth and the difficulties we face on Earth and a specific country is not that much.
Stephen, would you like to add to that? That's definitely a great answer.
That's a great answer. Elon Musk is a very great person for what he has done.
Okay. So, Shanda, over to you.
Me, I think would be some of my friends who are not, on social media, or a lot of people knows, but they are those people who we can see they're spending their daily life doing what's good for the earth, for the world, and these kind of people keep me going. And especially from what I'm doing, those who actually message me and telling me, hey, I stopped using plastic bags because of you, or like, I said, bringing my lunchbox because of you. These sort of things keep me going.
That's nice, because especially in your sector, it's the switch is not very drastic. It happens over time. So there is not instant motivation or instant reward, but it definitely comes over time. So I'm great to have that kind of support around you. Over to you, Divya.
The first inspiration, or the ones who are really nearby, is my parents and my siblings and my friends and family. So they are the ones who always inspire me to keep going. And as an idol, I always adore Ratan Tata, because he has a legacy and he is a philanthropist, and I've seen him working from past so many years, and his legacy ongoing and past going. So I would love to create a legacy like that in my future. And yes, these two are like someone I really adore.
Thank you. Definitely, I agree with all of you. It really takes a whole community or a village to raise one social startup. It's if you find yourself alone, you can look around and look up to these people and share your thoughts with them. So thank you for sharing those answers. My next question is a little bit on a lighter note. Feel free to answer it briefly, or have fun with it. What was the inspiration behind the name that you've chosen for your startup? What was the thought process? How did it come up? You're on mute, Steven.
VCAT is actually a new word we create. It's a combination of wheat and cat. When we start to choose this name, we also choose the logo, which is in the shape of our product. VCAT is a very sculpture style cat nest. And VCAT, the name, we found it a little problem. It's quite similar to WeChat. But I believe that in speaking, you can make it correct, and we already have our website domain registered of the vcat.com.
That's the
Yeah.
same
It's
thing
very
to do. That's a good thing to do.
But
Yes.
we accidentally find a lot of people on the internet when they register their online web name, they missed this unsuccessfully choose the name of WeCat, though we know his meaning WeChat, but it's great.
That can be a little tricky. I agree with you. Sue, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, the original story of WeCat is, I think cat is really cute, and it has it can communicate globally. Like no one don't like cats. Yeah, so we chose this as our logo and as our names. Yeah, that's it.
That's widely liked, so it's a safe bet to go with. Great, thank you. Over to you, Sachanda.
Me, the word zero, actually it's spelled zero with a W. It's actually from zero waste. So zero and then W for the waste. And that's how I come up with the idea when I first started doing this. And funny story about this is um so I introduced zero waste lifestyle to Cambodian, but I didn't create the zero waste concept. But one day my friend, she was hosting a workshop, and then she was like asking the participant, have you heard of a zero waste concept? And then the participant uh, uh, said, yes, it's a Facebook page. So yeah,
Wow, that's an ahoo moment.
yeah, it's I'm not sure if I did a good job or a bad job, but yeah, okay. They really know zero waste from us. Yeah, so this is something also.
That's sort of an achievement for you. And that's a very innovative name, from zero waste to zero. That's really crisp, short, and sweet. So, congratulations. Over to you, Divya.
So happy to comes from happy and to, as we are like using slangs always. And I'm always, whenever someone asks me to do any work, so I'm like, yeah, I'll be happy to do this work. I'll be happy to do this work. I'm happy to meet you, or I'm happy to do this. So somewhere or the other, we were like trying to find. So Harpic was something we use normally everywhere to clean toilets and everything. And I was like, okay, Harpic is something very unique. There is no meaning to it. But then I wanted to create something which was like very short, as well as something which doesn't have as such meaning. But then I found, okay, that's a slang as well as. So it was like first happy like toilets, but then it was like, then I created so many products. Then it was like, okay, happy to happy to protect toilets, happy to protect sofa, happy to protect shoes. So everything is like, okay, yeah, I'm really happy to do this. I'm really happy to do that. So that's how, so now I have a happy to podcast. So happy to listen, happy to talk. So something like that, I'm going to continue the series of happy to, which is HAPITO. Yeah. So it's not HAPPY, but it's HAPITO for all the Gen Z, or, the people who like used to love slangs. So it's a happy to anything you want to do.
That's really creative indeed. I am very happy to listen to your innovative answers and stories behind the names that you've so greatly chosen. With that, a lot of our young audience are budding startup entrepreneurs or hope to be startup entrepreneurs. So a little bit of questions from their perspective. My next question to you would be, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who want to make a meaningful impact?
Super.
Okay, I think the suggestion is really simple. Like, you need to start now, even though your idea is really small and shabby. Then you can start now. Like, it's a minimum variable model. You can test if the idea is right or wrong, and you can get some feedback from the friends and families and from the market, and you can precise your business. Assume the feedback is right for you. So I think start now is really important.
Yes, and also from our journey, we think that for a business, you don't need to earn each point or each dollar of the incomes. Actually, to benefit the whole chain, or maybe you make a win-win situation, will be very important for you to start your collaboration with your partnership and your reseller or something. So anyway, we believe that if we could make a business that help everybody earn something, no matter it's earning money or earning social impact, uh, it benefits all the important person in this program. It will help you products live longer and will help you business move faster and much more impact to the whole world.
Great. That's a good advice. It's short and sweet. Over to you, Sachanda.
First, I think we should define the meaning of impacts that each of us has different meaning to the word impact, what we want, what problem we want to solve, and then start working on it. And I can say sometimes it doesn't work what we do. It doesn't always work, but it can lead you to something that does. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sachanda. Divya, over to you.
I always tell this to all my students that, for swimming, you need to at least jump into the sea. So jump right now. You will meet sharks, you will meet boat, and you will have those boats taking you to the shore. So yes, I was also very new. I was also not knowing about anything about the entrepreneurial world, how it is going to go. But this is a journey you need to explore, and this was a journey for me and for my community. It was a new journey to explore altogether. So I think exploration is going to be a part of your journey. And so start right now, jump into the sea. You'll automatically, learn how to swim, and you'll get boats like Youth CoLab and other people. So yes, who will take you to the shore. So we all are there around you to help you out.
Great, thank you, Divya. That's a great analogy. I love the swimming analogy. I know everyone with me agrees. I can see the resounding smiles and nods, which I think everyone agrees. So on to the next question. How do you envision the future of entrepreneurs, and what skills or qualities do you think will be important for their success?
Well, I think firstly is focus on the specific problem you want to solve, and as you go further, and the problem will be more detailed. So you need only to focus on the specific area you want to dig deep. And another is you need to benefit others. Like as an entrepreneur, you cannot only think about the profit and or benefit for your own. You need to benefit the whole chain, like Steven just said. Give them enough what they want, like influence or profit or anything else, so you can go your business much more further than you think.
And also, I believe that third-party observation could be very helpful for your product, and putting this thing inside your mind that will help you to make your product or service help on each side or as a bridge for a market or a solution. So in this way, it will help you find a solution much more easier, because when you are still doing the things that you are very expert in, it could be difficult for you to find a smart solution that's jump off of your mind. And also recently, we found that some of the entrepreneurs, they were trying to shoot a TikTok or some short videos to document their products and document their company in live. And in this way, they got some very recent feedbacks from their viewers on their online followers, and even they may get some help, get some solutions from their viewers. And I think it could be a smart way for people.
Yes. I definitely agree with you. Online presence is another way of, soliciting feedback from your right community and actually then transforming your product accordingly. Over to you, Suchenda.
Yes, I think community building skills is very important for especially for social entrepreneurs. Be able to bring people together and maintain doing solving a problem together, not and benefit each other, like helping each other to sustain and throughout the whole supply chain, being able to bring people in one place and continue to doing that is something I think very important.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, Suchenda. Over to you, Divya.
I think everyone has heard this term called polymath. So yeah, I think everyone has to become a polymath in the future entrepreneurial world because of the artificial intelligence or the digital presence, but at the same time on ground, the community and people you work with. So I have faced things which are like so you need to you should have a basic trust on people, but there are people who are like going to you have to be alert all the time. So be alert, be on your toes, so that you know bit of everything. It's not necessary to know everything in detail, but at least you should know that the bit is the bit is quite important for you to know, so that you trust those people, not completely, and you just leave the work completely on them, but you should know a little bit of it, and then you can jump into it and they can do the work simultaneously. So I think polymath is something I would love to tell that, because now it's like open access, everything, everyone can learn anything within few hours. And I feel that yes, if we have something like huge brain, we can use at least 15 to 20% of it. So yes, being polymath is something, you need to know things. You need to be aware about things going on around you. So yeah, do that.
Definitely, Divya. I think that's an important skill to have in the current changing times. We're towards the end of the session, and only a few questions are left. So the next question is, what role do you believe entrepreneurs play in addressing social or environmental challenges, and how can they contribute to a sustainable future? I will add the question here on chat for your reference. One second. Yes.
Well, I think the entrepreneurs is actually a bridge between the consumers and the academics. Academics is really dedicated to a specific field for a very long time, and they publish their findings for what they think is good for the society and for the environment. And at the same time, the consumers can choose a products or a service that is value that have their own values or to make their life better. And I think the entrepreneurs can uh know the specific gap between the two groups of people, and at the same time connect the consumers and academics through the entrepreneur's own work, and can create products and create services that have a great product market fit. So in this way, we can move the world to a better place little by little.
Thank you, Sue, for that addition. Over to you, Sachenda.
I think entrepreneur play a very important role in tackling environmental challenges, and usually in problem, as we were saying, there's a consumer side and production side, and usually for in Cambodia case, I'm not sure in others country, but most we've seen that problems usually put on consumers' shoulders, like okay, you not managing your waste, you're producing too much plastic waste, or are we using too much fuel gases? So, but a lot less people talk about the producer, the businesses, the corporations who are spending a lot of money to put in the marketings and change consumer behavior from so long ago. So I think be a person who, or an entrepreneur, we have a lot of responsibility to actually providing, in terms of education, awareness raising, and providing a solution to what's actually consumer needs to be part of tackling the issue at the moment. So we have powers to help a lot.
Thank you, Sujenda. That's very thoughtful. Divya, over to you.
So entrepreneurs nowadays, because the entrepreneurship world is increasing day by day, I feel they're trying to solve problem, and every innovation is innovative, but all innovations are not necessarily good for future. So we need to, like, entrepreneurs need to think about that the futuristic aspect. So when we talk about sustainable development goals, or we're talking about a sustainable future, but till what time it's going to be sustainable, that also has to be seen. So the entrepreneurs are philosophy makers, and sometimes they are in their own world and trying to solve the problem. So I feel that they need to choose the right problem to be solved for a longer time. And yes, of course, as Sue said, that academically, we need to connect with the real world problems. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm being a PhD guide. I'm actually taking students who are actually going to do PhD, but at the same time, they're going to have their own startup, which solves problem, and they don't waste their time and energy on something which is going to be a black book. So action is very important, because nowadays all young entrepreneurs are robust, and they're very much trying to change the world in terms of, and shaping the world for future. So entrepreneurs, of course, play a very big role, because they have an access to, they have this particular energy in them, which will attract a lot of things from universe, which is like networking, as well as money, as well as things which can change or shape the world in some or the other way. So there's a huge responsibility on the entrepreneurs to shape the world in a right way. So yeah, all the best to everyone who wants to shape the world in a right way.
Thank you, Divya. That's very inspiring. My next question to you is, how do you envision your startup being developed in the coming 5 years? And what are the 5-year plans that you have thought out? What is the hallmark that you're trying to achieve in the coming years for your startup?
For VCAT, we are just starting our resale in China recently. Very soon, maybe next month. And after that, we are starting our global market. Maybe we will go first on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and after that, we will start the product online for our original eShop. And we are still chatting with some pet shop in United States and other countries. So we believe that we will make VCAT a series of product as the most cat-friendly, sustainable brand on this very special market. And we believe that it could be a much more great market later in the next 5 years. And also we will start for the Lonely Cats program. And we are still chatting with some NGO for this part.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Over to you, Sujenda.
So we're planning to be more resourceful to our audience and our customers. We would love to see our viewers, not just viewers, but coming years, they're becoming members and then becoming influencers themselves, so that more and more people will start to use their own voice and to use social media as a platform and take advantage of it and be make a positive content on social media. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sujenda. Over to you, Divya.
So our company, Silvery Nanos, having Happy Toe as one of the brands, which is having 14 products currently. We're trying to prevent infections on the surface, and through Happyto, we would love to prevent more infections coming from different areas. So one of the product is like, suppose helmets. They have a lot of dandruff as well as hair loss because of the helmets which you use for the two-wheelers. So we're trying to prevent infection in terms of whether it's UTI or any kind of infections. Being a microbiologist, so I would see in that particular terms and would love to take a vision or the broad spectrum towards digital marketing, towards more towards empowering youth. So yes, that would be my personal vision. As well as being a PhD guide, I would love to take, like, that's my goal, that by 2025 I will have at least 100 PhDs which will have a successful startup on something or the other, solving different sustainable problems. So yes, for personal vision, yes, 100 students around me having successful startups. As well as for Silvery Nanos, it's preventing infections in different ways. So we'll be making innovating new products for preventing infections. So yes.
Thank you so much, Divya. All of your ideas, all of your plans seem really promising, and I wish all of you all the best. To end the session, my only one question to all of you is: how would you describe in one word your journey with Youth CoLab? Starting with Steve.
Well, I think it's a very meaningful and thoughtful program that help us grow very fast. Actually, much more faster than we believe or we actually on our routine.
So, what's the one word you want to give?
It's actually quite difficult to choose a word. I think it's both very important.
Okay, I will from your team consider Sue's answer. So try to use the word.
I would describe it as amazing. Like, you can meet amazing people in this amazing platform. You're doing amazing things, and you grow faster than you ever think, I think.
Great.
Yeah.
So Vikat's word is amazing. So Chanda, over to you.
I think mine would be connect. Yeah, be able to connect to many people, many opportunity, many lots of knowledge to learn. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chanda. Divya, lastly, over to you.
Motivating.
Motivating. That's a good word. Okay, with this we come to the end of our discussion today. I thank each one of you for joining us. But before we wrap up, we have a few exciting and intriguing questions from the audience that we are watching. So I will be taking those questions one by one, and feel free to answer them in any order. So the first question that we have, one second, let me. How do you plan to sustain and grow your startup in the long term? We can go in the same order. How do you plan to sustain and grow your startup in the long term? Stephen and Stu?
For VCAT, I think we just start our the smallest MVP model, and for greater time, it could be we could make much more product range. Maybe we are doing not only for cat. Actually, we are recently considering this, that VCAT could be a symbol for a smart way that combine tradition, technique, and sustainable products. So it could be some other products, and we believe that this kind of brand will inspire the whole market. That maybe your next cat net or your dog net could made from another material instead of plastic or wood. So I think VCAT could make it much more bigger than what we are doing recently, that it's only a cat nest.
Okay, thank you so much, Steven. Over to you, Sachanda.
I think sustainability to me at the moment would be evolving around capacity, that the capacity to make content now only me alone as the face on the channel, so I can do just so much. Can only do so much to scale up. So the plan is to create more influencers, as I say, influencer content creator, and another thing that sustainability is a revenue stream. So this is what I have mentioned before as well. So we're trying to develop more revenue streams so that we can sustain our teams, and what we will focus on will be the business side, the shop side of it. So from the shop side, revenue from the shop side to sustain the team for content. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sachanda. Over to you, Divya.
For me, sustainability would be on my personal level, innovation to prevent more infections. Because as a scientist, I would love to do that. As a company, it would be like we have 14 products, and taking on to the Amazon, and right now we are in India. So Southeast Asia is something what we are trying to do, and then across the the world, like is a never-ending place. So something like that, and connecting more people, and making more distributors and getting them involved, so making more people involved about sanitation and hygiene, so and making them aware. So that's what I think is going to be my future perspective, or eight-element goal, you can say.
Thank you, Divya. The next question is asked by Pooja. What support or resources do you think young entrepreneurs really need to thrive? What support or resources young entrepreneurs need to thrive? Any one of you can take the answer. Let's just make it informal. Unmute yourself and feel free to answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the early age of the enterprise, it's important to find someone to do these things with you, not just for profit. They need to truly think this thing is amazing, or they wanna really do these things together with you. No matter in a technical way, or in a spiritual way, or in a some other ways, you need to find someone, or maybe not one, two, three. Numbers is cool. You need to find those people to support you.
Yes, true. So, would anybody like to add anything to it? We can take the next question then. Yes.
I think the best way to find the right person or people to do it with you is also to join competition, to incubation program. Sometimes you can meet the right people there because they go into the same
Yeah.
competition.
Yes, I think we all agree with you. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're taking one last question before, in the interest of time, we'll have to skip the other questions. This question is asked by Rakesh. How do you balance social impact and financial sustainability in your startup? Any one of you can feel free to unmute yourself and answer.
Well, I believe it depends on what kind of product or solution you are doing. For example, for VCAT, the social impact is they grow on the same way with your social. The social impact is going on the same way with it. So, but we are still facing things like how much money we are going to give to the villagers. And as I just mentioned before, to keep in mind to make a win-win situation will help it. And I believe you can finally find a balance on these two sides.
Thank you so much. Stephen, would anybody like to add anything to it before we wrap the Q&A round? Okay, I will take that as a no. So we've officially come towards the end of this insightful session. I thank each one of you for joining us. I want to especially thank City Foundation for making this happen, bringing all of us together beyond borders and across making this channel happen. So thank you so much once again for being here. I also want to thank all the audience that tuned in live and asked so many wonderful questions. I'm sure budding entrepreneurs learned a lot from today's session, and thank you for being so amazing and patient with the whole process to the panel members. We will also be having another panel session on the 15th of June, where we'll be hearing from the other side of the table, like I said, from eminent venture capitalists in firms in India. Before we wrap it up, Marion, could you please take a photo quickly of the session? Marion, are you here?
Done.
Okay, tell us when we should be ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Done. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good afternoon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Take